Welcome back upon for the next part of Limbus Company. In the last part, we have finally finished our preparations for our current team. Had a little meeting with Sasha. And, well, she kind of almost burst the bubble about fixers to Dawn, but lucky for us, she played along. For now. In order to protect the passengers. Sure, she only does it in order to gain more money from them at a later point of time, but right now she is acting like a hero for her. And now that Faust mentioned that she might be included into the reports for T.Corp, she's probably going to play an even better role. But then again, does it even work out? They're going to remove her memories, which in turn means she wouldn't really understand who to charge or why she suddenly got extra money, right? I don't know about this. This is probably not good. Actually speaking, now that I think about it, if they're going to remove all of the experience that we got from this case, then all the progress that Faust has made with her character development when she was disconnected from the hive mind is going to be lost as well as all of the emotions that she has shown. Oh my god, I will hate this. If they actually remove our memories after our mission, I'm gonna be outraged, because she finally showed emotion. She was sad, she was happy, and the others noticed it as well. Ishmael approved of it. Ishmael literally approved of it. You can't take that away from her. Let her grow as her own person. I know the hive mind is important for her, because she relies heavily on it, but let her grow as a person. Come on, she can't always rely on the other Faust. What if there's a big disagreement between them? Is she gonna fight all of them? But actually speaking, that might be a thing. I mean, if you consider it, if you were to take a notice of her base ego, she is looking down, the shadows of the other Faust are pointing the way, kind of like they're lecturing her. That might be related to her chapter at some point, that she has to rebel against the other Faust, which means we have a showdown from one Faust to the other with so many identities. It's gonna be a battle royale between the Fausts. I can't wait to see it. It's gonna be so great. And of course our Faust is going to be victorious. I'm gonna make damn sure that she's gonna win. No matter what happens, she is going to be the superior Faust of all of them. Right, Dawn? Certainly. Okay, I have to say, it's still a bit weird that they only give us one wave per encounter. They give us also 10 turns each fight as well, right? For the extra mission. It's weird. I don't quite understand this. Why would they do that like this? Oh well, another painting of hell. Oh, and we have 3 types of enemies this time around. Maybe this time around they're actually going to add another wave into this, so that I have a chance to use my egos. But then again, the only new ego that I have is on Otis, and she's not really included into this team, so it's fine. It's fine, right? Still only one wave. Then where's the third different type of enemy? Violent, 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 raving. I don't get it. Okay, there's a slight thing that I've noticed. I think they're lying to us. They say it's only one wave, but they also have reinforcement just like us. Which means our wave counter doesn't actually work right now, because there are a bunch of enemies hiding in the background and we just don't know about them, huh? Oh my god, this is really disturbing. Really, really disturbing. Oh, don't look like that! Ugh! Ugh, battling in a narrow alleyway really takes a lot out of you, huh? Are you sure it's the alleyway, or is it because of the scenery? Probably the scenery. This one is actually really bothering me. Well, too bad. Making big movement when there's not a lot of room to move around and takes more energy than you might think. Especially for people like us, who use longer weapons, right? These enemies weren't much harder than the ones that we fought earlier, but it was inevitable that their sheer numbers would eventually wear down the sinners. What are these things, Faust? Yeah, I've been wondering that too. Why are you so tight-lipped all of a sudden? Those entities are... What do you think those entities are? Huh? Didn't I just ask the same question? Oh no, are you giving us a chance to come up with our very own answers? Of course! Faust did not confirm nor deny this question, but Sinclair was perfectly capable of interpreting her silence with his own fashion. There were some things I've learned after finding them, I think. These monsters aren't mad at us, nor do they attack us because we were obstacles. That's not why they attacked us. Quite. It is apparent that they are hunger for odds, charging at anyone and anything in desperate quest for it. Right, and that's the strange thing though. I thought hunger or thirst wasn't really a thing aboard of these trains. It could be determined from these entities' attack patterns that their movement were not based on rational thoughts. The source of this behavior can only be traced back to primal aggressiveness. Yes, and? Was there anything else? Anything else? Oh yeah, I think they all had red eyes. Their bodies wretched in a blanket of red. It smelled bloody, so that's likely what they are made of. Then it must be that the red was congealed, nay, crystallized blood. Thank you all. Your input has all been very helpful. It was my turn to start whispering. What did you learn from that? We are in luck, Dante. I have read upon the subject as a tangible when perusing information regarding our next destination, moments before we boarded the train, and while that will be a useful element in resolving the situation, the sinners have also been a very good source of intelligence when it came to categorize and identify important evidence from the available sea of information. Your advice was correct, Dante. Oh, you mean you know what to do to blow this case wide open? Nothing can be said with absolute certainty at the very moment. However, this will be a good place for us to start. With that, Faust turned around and faced the rest of the sinners. I will now present before you a solution to this predicament. Is there something else that we gotta do other than beating the crap out of everything in our way? That will not change. No. However, what I'm about to share will give you a better understanding of the purpose behind T.Corp's contract, and provides us with the possible means of finding the method by which we may complete it. It is of a high likelihood that the entity behind the incident of this train, and by extension, every incident of the same nature that has occurred in the previous warp train trips, is because of the Bloodfiend! Yes! It is time for the nurse! The star of the city! Those guys are not actual abnormalities, so it kind of works out, right? That would also explain why Dante isn't really able to tell what they are, right? Yeah, this is great. The Bloodfiends! Are we going to have an encounter with an actual Bloodfiend now, or still just the Bloodbags? Kind of hard to tell, because so far it's just the Bloodbags. Wait, a Bloodfiend? Yeah, those fabled beings that usually seclude themselves to their own, but because of a certain nurse that just ran a rampage throughout the city, they've become a very specific topic in the city itself, right? What is a Bloodfiend, right? He doesn't know about it. A Bloodfiend? What in the name of a wing is that? Huh. You of all people haven't heard about the Bloodfiend? I thought you were our team expert on obscure lore and everything. Verily, I have not once heard mention of these Bloodfiends. Perchance I have let a magazine article slip from my memories? Dawn furrowed her brows, genuinely lost. It was as though the very words sounded alien to her. I thought they were just monsters in stories to scare children in the night, like the sweepers. They're supposed to be afraid of garlic and sunlight, right? Oh, that's a bit different from what I've heard. I heard the fear of garlic and sunlight is just a rumor, and what they're really afraid of is water. I have been briefed on the existence of the Bloodfiend in the past, when I served as a commanding officer, and I have seen the dregs that they command. Though my memory isn't very clear, I'm quite certain that these monsters here do not resemble what I have seen. I've seen one who called himself a Bloodfiend amongst the fingers, but the thing that Bloodfiend commands weren't like these rubbery textured ones. There's something off about this one. That one didn't spawn these dregs with abandon like this. But aren't you supposed to know this already? Yes, I see that some sinners may have encountered Bloodfiends in the past. A long-winded explanation seems unnecessary. As many of you have stated thus far, these entities that we are facing in this train do not appear to be Bloodfiends. In a sense, they are dregs-like beings that have failed to become kindred. They are referred to as Bloodbags among relevant parties, according to the information that I'm aware of. Not a terrible name. Why would anyone name someone a Bloodbag? As it had been said prior, it is impossible for passengers to disappear aboard a warp train under normal circumstances. Though our reserve of intelligence regarding the warp trains of T.Corp is vast if incomplete, we could not find a possible exception of the above rule. Within that reserve of intelligence, however, I have discovered that inserting a previous unseen variable into the equation allows for a formulation of a new hypothesis. Wait, you're saying that these Bloodfiends can completely erase people or passenger from existence? I mean, let's be serious, if they turn them into a bloody pile of blood, they could just eat them up. There wouldn't really be anything left of them afterwards. It does make sense. A more accurate description would be to say that they are either dissolved or vaporized. Dissolved? No matter the degree of violence the passenger may indulge in, no matter how severe the damage may be, the warp train can revert them to their initial state at the beginning of the journey. Among several interpretations of the word violence involves cannibalization, of course. Well, never mind, so I guess they can't just drink them away. However, as the passenger's collective time itself is a mortarium of the duration of the train's operation, digestion is not a biological process that should be active. In other words, even the devoured passenger could be reconstructed. If they are merely stuffed into the digestive tract, then I suppose they could just gut the passenger to retrieve the chewed up chunks of other passengers and piece them back together via the vein-like things connecting each other, right? However, such is not true for the Bloodbags. Bloodbags are, by their nature, obsessed with blood. Their existence hinges on supplying themselves with the blood of their victims. And it is said that they must consume a meticulous amount of blood to maintain their form. Wait, what? Didn't you just say that the digestion is not a thing while you're on the train? If I were to continue my deduction, perhaps consumption of blood for Bloodfiends and Bloodbags is a fundamentally different procedure from our consumption of nutrients for energy. To them, blood is accumulation, an attainment of something that forms the self, including but not limited to emotion, ambition, wealth, purpose of existence. Then it must naturally follow that they can spend their blood at will, which is a process that is isolated from other biological processes such as digestion. I ain't even following half of that. You exist in a mortarium of time at the present moment, Heathcliff, yet your emotions still persist, do they not? Anger, sorrow, and joy, they continue to spark within you. Well, I suppose they are. Though we cannot tell whether they may be in a state of alteration, or whether they remain ensnared in the wheel of creation and destruction, it can be said that emotion, once past, exists not in continuation. The passenger's will to persist, the worth of this very existence in which they thrive, do they not all gently atrophy into non-existence even amidst the seas and time? Miss Faust seeks to illustrate the similarities between how emotions are to ourselves and how blood is to the Bloodfiends. I gotcha, so that is why she said that blood is vaporizing, huh? If that is the case, then the very blood that's supposed to bind these chunks of flesh together will also evaporate, which means that they can't be pieced back together. There's no incongruence in that logic. Everyone felt silent for a moment. There was way too much information to process at once. We didn't even know what to make of them either. I would like to ask a few questions, if you would permit me. Yiseng was the first one to break the silence. Could it be said that Bloodbags are the direct creation of Bloodfiends? If such is the case, then by which method do they... That information is inaccessible at the moment. Faust replies, avoiding Yiseng's gaze. There isn't anything I can do about this. The sinners will only get more stressed if they find out, and that's something Faust and I both want to avoid. Inaccessible. Ah, indeed. Now I recall what you said in the past. This is only a speculation. However, I assume that a form of direct physical contact is needed to turn an individual into a bloodbag. If such were not the case, then we, who are likely the greatest obstacle to this entity's goal at the very moment, would have been the first one to be turned. Indeed. In that case, that villain of a Bloodfiend must be hiding out somewhere aboard this train, right? Indeed. If we were to believe the words of the Fixer from earlier, then there's a high likelihood that the Horde is advancing in this direction from the back of the train. In other words, continuing down the train car will lead us straight to the Bloodfiend. Very well! I shan't forsake this opportunity to bring peace to the souls of the innocent passengers who have perished by the villain's hand! Dante. It seems that Don was now invigorated. The other sinners also seem satisfied now that they have a clear sight of a goal. Faust, who stood amidst them, nodded in my direction. Well then, I guess we should go. We're making the best of what's available to us at this very moment. Let's move forward for now. I'm pretty sure Yiseng must have already caught up to it, right? He's a clever boy. He should be able to realize that something is up with Faust. If informations are not available, then there's certain reasons behind them. And if she doesn't want to speak about it, then she probably has a good reason for that as well, right? He must have already realized at this point. Now, let me just quickly take care of those fiends. I see you in a bit. Unless, of course, something new is going to show itself. I thought those are new passengers. I didn't think that the cleanup agents would actually board the train themselves. Interesting. Very interesting, but from the looks of it, they're pretty much the same as before. With the exception of charge IDs. If hit, the attacker uses a skill gain charge. The attacker steal 1 charge count from this unit. Ooh, I can steal charge from them. Well, that's interesting. Too bad that he's probably not able to survive for long, huh? Behold the power of green! Pure greenness! On all possible fronts! 32! 32! It's gonna get so much rapture on them! Oh, it's gonna be great! Look at him go! What's this? Wait a second, what was that? There was a flash. A red alarm flash? Actually speaking, this might not even be enough to finish them off. Now that I think about it. I haven't really... Oh, never mind. Faust is really strong. No, but seriously, what was that red flash? Is that an early warning or something big approaching? Never mind, Honglu had a lot of fun today, right? Honglu had a lot of fun today. And yeah, more cleanup agents, huh? Yep. I don't quite understand. Oh my god. Okay. I don't quite understand it. I'm pretty sure they didn't send other cleanup agents into this. Or are the cleanup agent actually riding the train themselves, even though they know of the horror that awaits them? I'm pretty sure that isn't something that they would, under any circumstances, do, right? I think that's pretty much the last of them. This really is messed up, though. Where the heck did they get the warp guys? And why the heck does half of the warp guys have some kind of effect that drains 16 HP from the very start of the first clash? Especially those guys with the axes? It's weird. Anyways, Manager Esquire, halt! Behold this poor fellow over there. He's still alive. Dawn, her rounded eyes wide open, began sprinting somewhere. He looks like Meursault! Oh no! No! Stay away from me! You monsters! Hey man, we're not those monsters, alright? Are you okay? Huh? That arm! You're starting to mutate too, aren't you? You must be turning into some kind of bug-like monster. Oh! What? No, wait, this is... Gregors stumbled for words before chuckling and casting his gaze towards the floor in disbelief. Yeah, well, it's no surprise there, I guess. I suppose there's no way to tell right away whether this is an arm of a monster or a prosthetic or whatnot. Oh. It is possible that you're mistaken due to this bioprosthetic being of an older, outdated mark that is now rarely seen in the city. A prosthetic... Oh, that's a relief. I thought those crazy bastards were trying to break in again. As you can see, my legs are messed up. I have no choice but to hide in here. So, what are the T.Corp employees doing aboard of the train? Huh? Oh, right. From what we found out about the warp trains through the identities, I can't really imagine why any of them would ever be willing to board a train. You're the contracted fixers, right? We were ordered to assist you with your contract. I said we, but I'm the only one left. Every single one of my colleagues suddenly began losing their mind in that car over there, and... This cannot be! Faust, is there truly no way to cure the Bloodbags? My apologies. The access of that information is prohibited at this moment as well. Though her voice and expression were both as serene as always, there was something gloomy about the way that she had to say it. I may have been too reliant on Faust, in too many places. Faust muttered in a barely audible voice. I don't know what I can do to help the sinners in a situation like this either. I would also grow too used to Faust's omnipresent omniscience because I always trusted it to be there for us. I was starting to realize that I don't have the means to consider and make my own decision at the moment like these. No, but maybe I was too reliant on everyone else. If, when the time comes for them to rely on me, when they can no longer function as they usually do, for whatever reason, can I really manage them as well, leading them to the right answer? Doubt, colored with fear, began to rise like a dark plum of smoke. Well, what can I do, right? Ugh! The agent struggled to some corner of the room with his wounded leg and pulled on a lever. They made good use of this space. And the wall behind what had initially appeared to be a folding chair for employees spun open. What in the name of a wing is this? Perchance, Dost thou hast hidden here a weapon most powerful? A weapon most feared by the Bloodfiends? That holds some resemblance to a capsule that we've seen in the first car nearby. But why would that thing be here? The cleanup agents slumped into the pot that appeared in the wall. Phew, finally. Huh? What is it that Faust seeks to do? T.Corp prepared a small hibernation pod for employees in case of these emergencies. Verily, then, huh? Good luck with the rest of the mission. And with that, he settled into the capsule and shut the hatch behind him. When the door covering the pod closes, only the folding chair and a wall covered with viscid remains. So I guess he's gone now. I guess he can't really help us at this point of time. He's already badly wounded. He might have already been affected by those things, right? If he sleeps through it, he might still have a chance to be healed by the T.Corp agents, right? If he just waits for his transformation, then it would probably be all over. It's kind of reasonable for him to tap out at this point of time, right? Oh well, he's gone. And there he goes. He has departed the scene. We blankly stared at the wall that the agent disappeared into. Well then, guess we gotta go. Let's move on to the next car. Right. Keep on keeping going. Oh yeah, that means we're probably going to run into even more of those, wait a second. Okay, it's a different one. It's a different one. For a second I was worried that Sasha might have decided to follow us, but no. That is clearly somebody else. That one resembles Faust, actually, with two great swords. But I guess we don't need to worry about that for now, after all. We still have another car waiting for us with a bunch of T.Corp agents. And by the way, I almost forgot. Need to change it for another boost. Right, Meursault? You always need to change. Yeah, there are more cleanup agents. Oh, this is really messed up. Those are the guys that Lou is currently wearing. Oh yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's gonna be a nice boost again. If they can even survive it. Oh yeah! One of them survived long enough. Well, I hope you enjoy all of that rip. Okay, maybe it's related to his ID. Or maybe his ego. It always blinks red when he uses his ego. Why is that? Maybe they have a special reaction to his rapture stuff? But that doesn't really make sense. Oh well, either way. It is time! It is time! Ariashu, I always need to change you. I'm really sorry, my girl. But you know, the 20% bonus, it's important! It's gonna shorten the amount of time that we need to spend in a random mirror dungeon, right? I don't see him yet, though. They're probably going to save it for the last respawn, right? Probably. Okay, I have to say it. I'm not really that lucky in this round. Like at all, I'm not really that lucky. It seems like I'm constantly losing my clashes. My Meursault barely has any sanity. The others are alright, but they still lose their clashes. And wait a second. Bloodbag, Prosthetic Fixer. Those are not great swords. Maybe it's that rude person that we ran into before. The one that kind of had the screaming duet with Don. Could it be? I mean, it's possible. Activate prosthetic. At 10 charge. Consume 5 charge and gain offensive level up. 10 power. Okay, that's not so bad. Harpoon mark. Why do you have a harpoon mark? At 5 charge count, gain 5 charge count. 3 bleed count, 1 fragile, 1 use. At 10 charge count, consume 5 and gain offensive level up. Inflict a bunch of bleed and a little bit of bind. Consume 10% of self to gain 10 charge count. Inflict 3 bleed count, 6 bleed, 2 count, and 2 paralysis. So you also have the drain ability as the other Bloodbags. Extra defense with a base power for every bleed on self. And the passives are probably the same as before. Power leakage, tenacity, you can kill yourself. Blood to brain, take 30% less damage from blood, rounded down. On hit, if the target has bleed, heal 50% on damage cleared. Prosthetic model L37. At turn start, at less than 5 charge, gain minus attack power down. At 5 charge, 2 clash power up. Okay, I need to keep that in mind. So right now, she's weak, but I can't allow her to gain any amount of clash power. Like at all. Cannot give you any clash power. And your song, I kinda need you to use the ego here, otherwise you're going to lose your clash. In most cases. It's kind of hilarious if you think about it. So that's a lot of power. It's an overkill, so we're not going to go for it. Do I need more light blue? Yes, I do. Okay, we're going to get Honglu ready. I might need to go for another illusion spell, but then again, the green ego is so great. I have so many gluttony attacks around here. I can get so many rapture counts, rather rapture potential. It's great. It's really great, even though it seems like the train kind of hates it, because it always flashes red whenever I use it, and only use it, and it only works on that ego, specifically, nothing else, which is a bit weird, I have to say. Okay, seems like everyone is winning their clashes, that's good, that's really good. Did something change, except of the fact that she gained her charges? Oh god, there are 2 of them! Oh! Okay, that might be a slight issue. Let's activate the green eagle and the light blue eagle for the heck of it. Surely this is gonna be a great idea. An absolutely great idea. Bunch of envy as well, so that we can use the teddy bear or maybe the wolf in the next round. Well, this is gonna be great, hopefully. Come on, let's see if the red flash is going to activate again. Yes, it does! Why does it do that? It never did that before! Why is that? Oh. But then again, it might be related to key eagles? Is that a thing? I don't think so, right? Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna use an ego on Faust next time around, in the next round, if anybody is still alive after this. So it's kind of brutal right now. Okay, this is good. You survived. Okay, where's my Faust? We are going to activate the wolf. The wolf is probably on the same level. Yeah, it's on the same level. Can they survive another round of attack? That guy's super tanky right now. He might just be able to survive it. I just need to use a couple weak attacks here and there. Then we should technically be fine. Yeah, we should technically be fine. And at the end of the combo, it doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna make sure that you finish them all off. Now please survive somehow until we reach the wolf. I just want to see if the red flashes appear on her as well, because then it's obvious that it is related to he egos and not just Honglu, which is a bit weird if you think about it, if it is just exclusive Honglu. Oh no, you're killing him. Okay, I guess we have to test it in the next battle. Yeah, I might have to test it in the next battle. Let's see. What about to say, game? Don't crash on me now! And I got to MVP again. Honglu is just a beast. Honglu is the beast. What's this? broken body parts. Is that a good thing? Probably not. I see somebody with a cane over there. It's probably also not a good thing, but oh well. Oh well. Do I have the time to fight one more time? I mean, it's kind of hard to tell if there's going to be a story element into this. But then again, I'm probably going to cut all the in-between fights for the most part, so I should just have barely enough time to fit that one in as well. Right? Surely I should have just enough time to fit that in. And we start off with 3 of them right from the start. Is that fair? Nope. Not even in the slightest. It's gonna be fine though. I just need some time in order to get some ego resources or something like that. And survive our clashes somehow. That's gonna be the most problematic thing. I need to survive our clashes and gain some sanity. Until Faust is able to provide the sanity for the others, at least. At the very least. But so far, seems kind of alright. It's good. Everything's fine. Okay. This is not quite a ego. But that was a good attempt. Meursault, that was a good attempt. Seems like it didn't really cause any red flashes though. I just need to get the enemy resources in order to test out the wolf. I think at the very least I need a ego. Right? At the very least, I could actually go for this one now. That might also trigger it. Okay, it didn't trigger anything. Never mind. Maybe the wolf though. Maybe the wolf. The wolf might have an effect. Surely the wolf has an effect. I just need the ego resources. Okay, the moment of truth. Come on, Doggo! Doggo, trigger the flash, please. You have to trigger it with all your might. It didn't do it. It didn't do it. Why? Why is that? It's already over for that guy. Even though I have to say, this time around we cut it a little bit close. They pushed us to turn number 9. Right? It did push us to turn number 9. And there is a cutscene afterwards. Okay. Something has caught my attention from the corner of my eyes after another round of brutal combat. Huh? What is this now? Another T.Corp box. We were on the final car, adjacent to the freighted car when we discovered that odd box with the T.Corp logo on it. Ah, this is the emblem of T.Corp. It appears that it was broken in the fierceness of our battle. Didn't the chief executive guy, I mean Hubert, right? Didn't he offhandedly mention something about partnering with other wings? I guess they were in cahoots with V-Corp too, and not just L-Corp. Such collaborations are not limited to T-Corp. It is often the case that a wing may work with another. It is only on rare occasions that they urgently request the assistance of less significant, lesser known corporations such as our own Limbus company. Their choices appear to be quite irregular. Sounds like V-Corp's heydays are long behind them. Just like the wall that's falling apart, revealing what's behind. Oh, speaking about falling apart, this room sure got messed up, huh? Yeah, I mean, look at the corpses. The northern guy. It was difficult for me to ignore how Rhodia hurriedly swore to a different subject as though she had made a mistake. Even the tone of her voice shifted like she was catching herself. The various destroyed prosthetic parts covered in human remains indicate that this train was boarded by several prosthetic-equipped fixers. I can't think about that right now. Let's deal with the task at hand first. Maybe these people are from the same office as the guy that we've met at the platform. Remember? He said he was warped over to T.Corp on an expedition. Look, it's almost like they are all wearing standardized setup of prosthetic. Same make, same model, everything. I believe I've heard an article stating that certain offers do exclusively hire Fixer with prosthetics. Wait, We were walking through the bloody train car when we suddenly heard Sinclair's voice crack as though he saw something awful. Yeah! He's the one we encountered at the platform! This is the Fixer who suddenly started venting at us. Yeah, and he said something about going to T.Corp on an expedition and failing. They brought a whole train car full of Fixers for this contract. I guess calling it an expedition was no exaggeration. There are dozens! There are over a dozen broken arms still about! They must have fought valiantly by replacing their broken arms with backup arms, perchance. A strategy indeed. Makes sense. That would explain all those broken prosthetic arms and legs in this car. Executive Manager. This is likely an aftermath of a battle between the Fixer and the Bloodbags. There were many similar cases during the war. Those using prosthetics would simply let their body be destroyed in battle, because they considered them to be disposable, as long as there was cash remaining in their wallets. Of course, the blatant lack of self-preservation often led them to an earlier grave. Yeah, because they didn't care about any sort of protection. They probably used their arms as shields. But the thing is, do you even have the time to replace it if you act that recklessly? And what do you do once you run out? Are you just gonna stand still and let them finish you off? Difficult. But that may be true. You see, there are more than a single possible interpretation of the same scene. I will remember both of your inputs. That's a good attitude. Employees with attitude like yours often made it to the end of the war. Yes, well, good for them. Faust answered orders in an uncharacteristically snappy manner. Slight fatigues were creeping into her pensive expression. Are you alright, Faust? It was rare to see any actual expression from her. I was starting to get worried. I am physically unharmed, yet, yes, I'm alright. However, I do not enjoy the circumstance which we find ourselves in. It is as though I'm casting nets into nowhere. We're lost and isolated in a blind sea. I could usually complete this deduction within moments after establishing a few basic cross-reference between the accessible informations. Her voice was such a whisper from the second part of a sentence that even I could barely hear what she was saying. I know what you mean. Feeling like you're completely lost, obsessively casting net after net over the black, ribbleless lake, in desperate hopes that one of them might pull in something that we could eat. No way to tell where we are, no way to tell if there's even anything to eat under that glassy water surface, grasping at the straws, you know? This sense I find murder is not unlike your own. It's like lying back over an unseen grave, for the reflection of radiance upon my eyes and the sanguine sense, hanging from the tip of my olfactory, tells me not the forging path. It seems that the first part of the sentence was well heard by Ishmael and Yiseng. However, they walked up to her and shared a few words of consolation. Oh, by the way, I don't ever recall you talking like that, Faust. I don't know what it is, but you feel different from your usual self, somehow. That is... Oh, I mean, I don't hate it. I'm actually glad to learn that you had a softer side to yourself. This unseen side of yours. It is unfamiliar, yet quite fresh. Is that so? Faust's reply was curt. She closed her eyes. As per the information provided by the pamphlets at the platform, it is likely that this train is composed of 12 passenger cars and 1 freighted car. Because we are on the 11th car at the moment, that leaves a singular car between us and the freighted car in which the Mephistopheles is secured. Which means which means that there's a high likelihood that we will soon encounter the Bloodfiend responsible for the creation of the Bloodbags aboard this train. Just beyond the store. Well, how strong could he be if its fodders are this weak, right? There were so many of them, but we particularly smashed through the entire horde. A different, more accurate interpretation would be to say that a being capable of commanding a force as large as the Bloodbags that we have just defeated should be considered a high-risk entity. Although this is not commonly known, there's a subcategory of fixers called the Bloodfiend Hunter who specialize in, yes, the hunting of Bloodfiends. Assuming that information is true, it can be inferred that Bloodfiends are difficult foes that require a certain expertise to defeat. Now that I'm thinking about, if Bloodbags are like mindless trolls of Bloodfiends, then they are kind of like their private armies, right? A being of power who can create a force of their own without concerns for lower morals or desertion. Wartime or not, they will always make a formidable foe. True. The sinners each exchange various opinions with one another, possible strategies, estimate of Bloodfiend strengths, and all of a sudden, fire on this undecisive idleness! Our quest is to defeat the villain who had brought such pain and misery upon the strain, is it not? It may be vaporizing the lifeblood of the innocent as we speak! Mighty or feeble, I cannot! I swear upon my honor that I shall smite this foe and let my hand of justice be the judge of their fates! Let us haste now! Don's sudden outburst immediately puts a stop to the shadow. Well, she's not wrong about that. Besides, we have to deal with the Bloodfiend to complete our contract, right? Otherwise, we can't really return back to sleep. And with that, I open the door leading to the final cart of this train.